Welcome once again to the Rayat Online School Education Program, and this is the 24th lecture of Biology. Myself, Professor P.B. Sargade from Sadhguru Gadge Maharaj College, Karad, and this is the 5th lecture of Human Health and Diseases. Now, in today's lecture, we are going to see four various diseases which are causing to the healthy human being. The first disease is pneumonia, the second is common cold, the third is ringworm, and the fourth is dengue. Now let's start with the first disease, pneumonia. We have oftenly heard the word pneumonia. Now what is pneumonia? The disease which is caused to the human being. Now pneumonia is an inflammatory condition of lungs or alveoli of lungs, and there are various causative agents or pathogens which are responsible for pneumonia in the healthy human being. So, it is caused by a variety of pathogens. Now, the first in these are the viruses. Now, which are those viruses? The influenza virus, then adenovirus, and parainfluenza and respiratory syncytial virus, or they are called as RSV. These viruses, they are responsible for the pneumonia in the human being. Then bacteria and fungi, the Streptococcus pneumoniae or fungal pathogens, for example, Pneumocystis jirovecii and Pneumocystis carinii. These are the another causative agents or pathogens in the formation of pneumonia in the healthy human beings. The pneumonia can also be caused by chemical burns or physical injury to the lungs. Now remember, dear students, the pneumonia is caused to the respiratory tract and particularly to the lungs in the human being. The lungs and the alveoli, they are inflamed in this condition, and that condition we called it as pneumonia. The viruses and bacteria and the fungi, as well as the chemical burns and physical injury to the lungs, they are responsible. Now we'll move forward. The signs and symptoms of the pneumonia. The cough produces yellow or greenish sputum or phlegm. Now this condition is particularly seen in the patients suffering from the pneumonia, and along with this, the high fever and shortness of breath. The fever is high in these patients, and then shortness of breath. It means in medical terminology, it is called as dyspnea. This is observed in the persons suffering from the pneumonia. Then chest pain during deep breath or coughing. While these patients, they are coughing and taking a deep breath, they feel a tremendous amount of chest pain in the pneumonia. Now next, the loss of appetite and fatigue, headache, vomiting, joint pains and muscle aches, they are also observed in the patients which are suffering from the pneumonia. Then the mode of transmission of pneumonia. The pneumonia mostly spreads by direct person-to-person contact. If a person which is suffering from pneumonia comes in contact with a healthy person, the pneumonia may spread. It can also spread via droplets released by infected person or even by using shared cloths and utensils. The droplets, they are spread while coughing and sneezing by the infected person, and if a healthy person comes in contact with that person, the pneumonia spreads. Now next point, the diagnosis and treatment of pneumonia. The pneumonia has caused because of various agents as discussed earlier, and the course of treatment depends upon the pathogens leading to the disease. Now it is selective. For bacterial pneumonia, antibiotics like benzyl penicillin, ampicillin and chloramphenicol are effective. These drugs, they are used to treat the pneumonia. Now, how the pneumonia causes, we have to observe these infectious agents. Now, this is the adenovirus, then this is the Legionella pneumophila, then this is the Streptococcus pneumoniae, and this is the Aspergillus. It is a mold. Now, these are the infectious agents of the pneumonia, and we have discussed about the course of treatment by the benzyl penicillin, ampicillin, and chloramphenicol. The next, the prevention and control of the pneumonia. Now, the researchers and the doctors, they have studied this disease very in detail, and they found that the vaccination is an important prevention in both children and adults. The vaccines against the pneumonia carrying pathogens, they are now in the days, and from previous years they are in market, and these vaccines, they are administered to the children and adults, and they are effective against the pneumonia. The vaccines against Haemophilus influenzae and Streptococcus pneumoniae in first year of life help greatly to reduce the chances of causing pneumonia. When a child is born, it is administered with various vaccines throughout the life, and basically in the early years of the life. And these vaccines of Streptococcus pneumoniae and Haemophilus influenzae, they are effective against the pneumonia. Then the next disease is the common cold. Now, we observe the common cold in our life, and it is a viral infectious disease of upper respiratory region. Now, we have studied the respiratory system of the human being, and this is the viral infectious disease of upper respiratory region. It is also known as nasopharyngitis. Remember, dear students, the common cold in medical terminology, it is also known as nasopharyngitis, acute viral rhinopharyngitis, acute coryza, or cold. And it is caused by a group of viruses known as rhinoviruses and coronaviruses. Remember, dear students, now we are passing through the epidemic of the coronavirus, and the common cold, the causing agents, the viruses, are rhinoviruses and coronaviruses. They are responsible for the common cold, as well as all of you know that COVID-19, it is responsible for the formation of corona in the healthy human beings. Now we will move forward. The signs and symptoms of this disease: cough, sore throat, running nose, and fever. These are the common signs and symptoms which are observed in the common cold. Then nasal congestion and sneezing. The person suffers from the nasal congestion, and sneezing is occurred in the person affecting from the common cold. Then conjunctivitis, that means redness of the eyes or formation of red colored eyes because of the infection. Then muscle rashes, fatigue, headache, shivering, and loss of appetite. These signs and symptoms, they are also observed in the common cold, and these conditions, they are commonly found in the common cold. The next, the prevention and control of the common cold: staying away from person suffering from common cold, and washing hands with soap and water. Now we have discussed about the coronavirus. Now these are the hygienic requirements which are essential for not to develop this disease in the human. Then washing hands with soap and water, use of handkerchief to cover the nose and mouth during coughing and sneezing. The persons which are suffering from this disease, they should use handkerchief to cover the nose and mouth during coughing and sneezing, and it prevents the spread of the virus in the air, and in order to prevent the other healthy persons from getting infected. The alcohol based hand sanitizers can also be used. in order to sanitize the hands. Now the next point or the next disease is the ringworm, or it is also called as dermatophytosis. Now this is the third disease in our today's lecture. It is a fungal infection of skin, and it is caused by many fungal species belonging to the genera Trichophyton and Microsporum. The fungal species of this genera, they are responsible for the formation of ringworm. Now these fungi feed on keratin in skin, hair and nails. All of you know that the keratin is a protein which is present in our skin, hairs and nails, and these fungi, they feed on this keratin in skin, hair and nails. Now this is the diagrammatic representation. Now there is a ring-like structure of this fungi, so the name is given as ringworm. The fungus lives on dead tissue of the skin. Now this is the enlarged portion, and this is the microscopic ringworm, and this is the fungal hyphae, and it looks like this. Now these are the signs on the body or the outer surface of the human being, or in the dermatophytosis or ringworm. Then signs and symptoms. The infected skin, it shows enlarged red ring caused due to ringworm. A ring-like structure is caused on the skin, so the name is also given as ringworm. And the appearance of dry scaly lesion on various parts of the body, and these red patches cause intense itching. Now in ringworm, the persons which are suffering from the ringworm, they show intense itching at the spot of infection, and this itching is very much prominent. Then infection to nails is termed as onychomycosis. Remember, this question is asked to the MCQs so many times. So the infection of ringworm to nails is termed as onychomycosis, and in which the nails become thick, discolored and disfigured. It means the nails, they are disrupted, they become thick, discolored and disfigured. Then the athlete's foot is the fungal infection that usually begins between the toes. Now this type of fungus is observed generally in the athletes because they use shoes during their training, and it is occurring in between the toes, and this is the fungal infection, and it is also a part of ringworm. The next, the mode of transmission. The ringworm spreads by shearing of cloths, then shearing of comb of infected person, etc. The close contact with infected person is another mode of infection. Now remember, the main mode of transmission in ringworm is the close contact between the person which is affected by the ringworm and a healthy person. Sharing of clothes, sharing of comb of infected persons, and a close contact with that person causes ringworm. Then diagnosis and treatment. The diagnosis is by physical examination of the person infected by the ringworm, and the treatment uses drugs like nystatin, fluconazole, itraconazole. Now these are the antifungal drugs which are effective against the ringworm. And in the country like India, where from previous years the change in the hygienic conditions or awareness in the hygienic conditions have nowadays reduced the infection of ringworm. Then we will move towards the next point, the prevention and control of the ringworm. Avoid close contact with other people, especially with the persons having skin diseases. Then avoid sharing of clothes, avoid sport equipments, etc. Then washing of clothes in hot water with the fungicidal soap. Now these are the preventive and control measures of the ringworm. Now we'll move towards the Next disease, fourth disease of this topic, dengue. Dengue fever is a painful, debilitating vector-borne disease caused by any one of four closely related dengue viruses. Now, dengue virus is responsible for the development of dengue, and it is caused because of the dengue viruses. Now, the dengue virus is transmitted through the bite of female Aedes mosquito. Now, we have discussed in malaria and in elephantiasis, the vectors, the mosquitoes, they are responsible for the diseases. Now here, the dengue virus is also transmitted through the bite of female Aedes mosquito, and she acts as a vector. The mosquito takes up the dengue virus when it sucks blood of a person suffering from dengue. Now here, the spread of dengue is caused because when a person infected from dengue, when the Aedes female mosquito takes a blood meal, and again when she bites a healthy person which is not suffering from the dengue, the disease is transmitted. That means the virus is transmitted from the infected person to the healthy person. It cannot spread directly from one person to another person. Now remember, the vector Aedes mosquito, female Aedes mosquito, is responsible for the dengue. Now here in this topic we have completed, in this lecture we have completed 4 diseases, and we will meet in the next lecture. Thank you all of you.